Hello and welcome to Stanivision's YouTube channel, where I'll explain the history of Stanivision. I hope that anyone living in Sweden or the United States or Turkmenistan or Germany or any other countries in the entire world enjoy this video. It's a very long one because it's a lot to talk about. Yeah, that's just about it. For those who are new here, this is a music competition where every single country is allowed to compete as long as they abide by the rules. And that's the check in the server for those who are interested in joining our Discord server. So yeah, and before I continue on, I just want to give you an update about Extension 10, which we wanted to congratulate Sweden for winning twice in a row and now getting 3 victories. All of them was once again won by Leo, this time with a song about his home city and host city Östergötland. And now it is set that Västerås will host the Stanivision 11 on November 15th, Saturday, 9 p.m. 2025, right on our Discord server like usual. So anyway, we would like to continue on with our history of Stanivision Song Contest. For those who have been following us since March this year, it was basically it's some Swedish youths, including myself and many others, who have had a crazy idea on uniting the entire world, and that is with what is known today as Stanivision. We had 8 countries, the founding countries, who have competed in the first edition, and those were the following: Kurdistan, who started as song number 1 with the song Why Do I Die When You Touch My Heart, which was performed by Lilian Sofia. It was not realistic that Kurdistan would compete, and it was only set that seven countries would compete, but it ended up with Kurdistan joining in anyways. Then followed with Turkmenistan, that was Ashitax, who debuted in the first edition, representing Turkmenistan and not doubting to choose a country for the future editions. And it was, of course, Turkmenistan that he performed with. And this was the latest video that Stanivision made on a YouTube channel. So if you haven't watched it yet, please do so, and let me know if any of you have been watching the latest video about Turkmenistan. Please let me know. And that was song number 2. Song number 3, we had Kyrgyzstan, and it was Benny. Basically, for those who are wondering, I'm not just a social media manager or social media creator who's responsible for Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube accounts, but I'm also a contestant myself, and there are many others who have many roles. It doesn't only have to be one, so you can have like any roles that you want. So basically, I'm not just a social media owner of these channels, but I'm also a competitor, and it is me, Benny, of course, who represented Kyrgyzstan with a song in both Kyrgyz and Spanish. There are 2 song titles, one in Kyrgyz and one in Spanish, but because the Kyrgyz one used the Cyrillic alphabet, and it's so hard to understand the Cyrillic alphabet, which is in like in the Russian languages or the Ukrainian languages or the Kyrgyz. Here is the Spanish one. It means Regrese a Kyrgyzstan, which is, if I understand correctly, heading back to Kyrgyzstan, whether it's in somewhere in Bishkek, the capital city, or anywhere else in the landslide of Kyrgyzstan. That's what this song is about, even with 2 languages, double cultural. Then we have Kazakhstan, which was performed by Leo, with How Much Time Do We Have Left Together, or I mean How Much Time Do We Have Left. And that's not to confuse with Slovenia's entry for this year's Eurovision, which was performed by Clemens Laconia with the same song title. So let's not confuse them. It's just another song, of course. Song number 5 was Tajikistan, which was performed by Isak with the song Sarf. So let's see if it releases soon, but that's what this is about. Then we have song number 6, which is one of the memorable songs even today, and it was also featured in the first ever video that we made on Stanivision's YouTube channel since the establishment, and that is Afghanistan's Maximus, who was by that time from the beginning known as XEIXC, with the song Maximus Legend. The lyrics and the beats are still catchy. The lyrics are a bit hilarious too. So if you haven't watched the first video yet, then please do so as well. And yeah, again, that's Maximus Legend. Song number 7 was Uzbekistan, which was represented by Gube, and it was Oktaplatlar. Even there, the lyrics are a bit, or if there even is any, it's mostly samples, but the beats are catchy there as well. And then we have Pakistan, which was represented by Sak, to tell his story about himself, and that's in Sak's dream. And it took place by the end of March 2025, which was earlier this year. And again, it's the fact that this community that we built in, this Stanivision community, is based in Sweden, and it's still so by that time. Most of the members on the Stanivision even today are from Sweden, or for those who live in Sweden. Even I myself live here. And for the result, it was confirmed that first place, for those who have been following, it is of course Turkmenistan, and Turkmenistan by what was known as Mr. Music is now known as Ashitax, who won the first ever edition of this contest. Then came Pakistan, which I told you about earlier, that's Sak. Third place was Kazakhstan, fourth place Tajikistan, fifth place Kyrgyzstan, then Afghanistan, which I mentioned in the first video on Stanivision, ended up in sixth place, yet even there got a Hall of Fame for its memorable beat, and yeah, the song is so special in any way. And then Kurdistan 7th place, and Uzbekistan 8th place. And that was the milestone that we had, being the first ever edition that Stanivision ever took place. But it's not the end, it is just the beginning, and it's more and more to talk about, as we now head off to Stanivision 2, which took place in April 2025. So usually it's like 2 or 3 weeks between the previous one and the next one, and it was like so, but now it's usually like at least a month between the previous one and the next one, and that's how it is still today. It's been so like lately. Anyways, first, the song number 1 for Stanivision Year 2, which took place in April, was once again XEIXC, who's now even more than so known as Maximus, and he did so even in his song for Stanivision 2, Maximus är tillbaka, which basically means Maximus is back. So in the first editions that we had, before we had like members from other countries, not just Sweden, the first editions were mostly in Swedish, and now we have the whole competition that's based in or speaks English mostly, but we also have a Swedish channel for those who for Swedish natives or those who speak Swedish. We have so too. Then we head off with, and this was 8 debuting countries, the founding fathers, the countries I mean. But now we had in the Stanivision 2 9 countries. Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan was no longer to be seen after the first edition, but those who were seen were the for those in the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea. First off, in the song number 2, was Georgia, who was represented by Nini Iris featuring Isaac, with the song Belaya Polosa, which basically is in Georgian. Ashitax, the favorite for the first edition, represented Turkmenistan once again as song number 3, as he talked about the capital city Ashgabat in his song My Beloved Ashgabat. Then came another debuting country and one of its neighbors of Georgia, that is Azerbaijan, who was represented by Eldar Kasimov with the song Land of Fire. So you might have known that the motto for Europe in 2012, which was held in Baku in Azerbaijan, was basically Land of Fire. And that's basically what Azerbaijan is known for. And then we head off to one of its rival, or the neighboring rival, that is Armenia, which was represented by Leo with the song Pam Pararam. And even this one we made a video about, so just check if you haven't heard it yet. There's still many more to cover, but that's yet to be confirmed. Then we head off. That was sound number 5. Sound number 6 was Kazakhstan again, this time represented by Willem, as he mentions in the song Kresak, also known as Kresak the Legend, which is the song title for Kazakhstan in the second edition. Song number 7 was also Kurdistan, once again represented by Lina Sofia, this time with a Swedish song, which is Grita med el och kantareller. So it's like moose and mushrooms. That's basically for food, which is basically like a culinary cuisine for some parts of Sweden. Then Gubbe once again, representing Uzbekistan, this time with En gång var jag inte gubbe, which means that one time I wasn't a gubbe, or a man, as it means, of course. And then me again, representing Pakistan this time with a Turkish singer. And it's not doesn't look very realistic, but Ahmet Kaya with a song in both English and Turkish, even though it's Pakistan that I represented, which was in a song titled in Turkish Shawarma Kim Çaldı, which is basically about shawarma. And when we're looking at the result, it is confirmed that for the song number 1, Afghanistan won, of course, the second edition. And so far, even today, it's the only song that was AI generated with Suno, the AI music app that's one of the most famous to exist in today's world. And it's still allowed, even today, to compete with AI generated songs. And it's still so, but it is also allowed to make your own song. That's also part of the law, especially with BandLab or GarageBand or FL Studio. That's among the popular ones, and that's one part of it. Uzbekistan 9th place, then came Kazakhstan with 8th place, Kurdistan 7th place, Georgia with 6th place, Pakistan 5th place, Armenia 4th place, which is again the Stanivision video I mentioned earlier, Turkmenistan 3rd place, Azerbaijan 2nd place, and as you noticed, it was once again Sak who ended up in the 2nd place, and then Afghanistan with Maximus again. Stanivision 3 was one of the most disappointing when it comes to the number of contestants, as it was 6 contestants. First off was, again, Ashitak representing Turkmenistan with the song Tonki Bonki, which he later came to win with 22 points. This was the second victory that marks celebrations in Ashgabat in Turkmenistan, and that's basically what's coming in many other editions from now. Then came Uzbekistan, Gubbe featuring, even this one is not realistic, but just Klein with what seems to be an Uzbekistan cover of Europapa, this time with Ooh Uzbekistan. And it was many hopes that Gobel would not end up in the last place, that last place again, and fortunately, he ended up in the second place with 16 points. Third place was Turkey, which was represented by Turkish Fries Corporation, talking about Turkey and how amazing they are, which was featured in the song The Turkish Sultanate. And that's what it is. As mentioned, this is the Turkish Fries Corporation. And once again, it was in English and Turkish, and it ended up on the fourth place with 14 points. Then came Afghanistan. Once again, it's Maximus, this time with Vincent12496, with mentioning McDonald's. Even though it's not a huge sponsor and we're not really sponsored, it was featured in Talksport McDonald's, which is the train railway and McDonald's. So basically, being obsessed with McDonald's, of course, they ended up with that last place, 6th place, with 13 points. Then came Georgia, who was represented by Diana Shibriat featuring Sistema with Zakhli, which was another Sanction video we made about. Plus, in that same video I featured the list of those countries who have been competing in Stamsh's history from the first edition till now. And they ended up in the 5th place with 14 points, which is the same amount that Turkey had on the 4th place. And then one country left that ended up with the same amount of points as Uzbekistan, though that's 16 points, though in the 3rd place, which was Iceland. That was represented by Leonora with the song Mit Hakenishol. Even this one is based on a song title from another European song that was Iceland's contestants who represented the Iceland in European Song Contest 2022 in Turin, Italy, with that same song title. So let's not confuse this one either. That was 1st of May, around the beginning of May, that the 3rd edition took place, and then we head off later that same month for the 4th edition. And now we got once again 9 contestants. First off was Romania, which one of the debutants from that edition, represented by M25 featuring M23K, with the line 3 heading off to Koltorp, or from Swedish, Linje 3 mot Koltorp. So it's basically what they describe is a line 3 heading off to Koltorp. Second place, song number 2, was once again Maximus for Afghanistan, with Maximus' father, or the father of Maximus. Ashitak's song number 3, once again welcoming the entire world, the Stanivision world, to Turkmenistan with the song Welcome. 4th song was a fake country that we're heading off to right now, and that is Sananans, represented by Mr. Skuppe, with the song Regaios Songyos, which is basically a Sananans reggae song. Song number 5 is another debuting country with not just Romania or Sananans, and another one or the 2 others that I'm about to mention soon, but it's also Tuvalu, which is basically an unknown island in Oceania, represented by Ninja Vanilla with, you guessed it, Ninja Vanilla. Another debuting country, this time in Europe though, is Finland. This time it was Leni Sofia who chose to represent Finland with 50s Tango, basically the typical tango song from the 1950s. And then another debuting country in Europe, or should I say a region though, which is Scotland, which was represented by Alex, featuring what was supposedly this Hatsune Miku with the song The Disappearance of Scotland. And it was what was supposedly Hatsune Miku singing. I will come to that later. But then we also have Turkey, which was represented by many featuring Russian type. Let's just count Turkey and Benny. Even this one is in both English and Turkish. This song title though is a very, very, very long one. It means, pardon me for saying this, but this song contains, this is the song title. This song contains typical Turkish ear rape. Do not listen if you live in Armenia, Greece, or Cyprus. And then we head to Turkey. That was Song number 8. Then we're heading off to Turkey's best friend, Azerbaijan, represented by Alice with The Peaceful Storm. And looking at the results, it was very tight, but it ended up with a victory for Sananans, even in its debut, with 40 points. 2 points behind was the second place Scotland, and which was supposedly the fan favorites Hatsune Miku and Alexand with 38 points. And it brought, after the 4th edition, it brought huge disappointment, especially though for those who voted for her. The third place was Afghanistan and Maximus with 36 points. Romania, with its line 3 to Kotorp, ended up in 4th place with 30 points. Tuvalu and their Ninja Vanilla ended up in 5th place with 28 points. Ashitax never got the victory, or the third one at least, by that time, as he ended up in the 6th place with 25 points. Turkey ended up in the 7th place, also with what seems to be the same amount of points, if I understand. So it's 25 points, the same amount that Turkmenistan had. Then Azerbaijan with 22 points in the 8th place. And that's 9th place, with 19 points, is Finland. And that was 24th of May, as mentioned. And we head off to the mid-June, where the 5th edition took place. Starting off that night was Romania, which was represented by Vincent, being known as, among the Stanivision community, as the Train Spotter, which was even mentioned in the song Vincent the Train Spotter. Tuvalu returned back to the contest again. This time it was represented by Pantropical Spotted Dolpheus with Love is on Our Side. Then Turkmenistan's Ashitax, who represented the country again with Dance Until You're Sore. Song number 4, we have the first debuting country on the list, that was Japan. And Starkiller chose to make a tribute song about Japan as a country itself. Scotland, after a huge disappointing result, or not really a disappointing result, but not the one they expected that they would, but still the best one they had so far, would be represented again, this time by another Vocaloid superstar. This time it's V-Flower with the song Distortion, and I'll come to that later, along with the disappearance of Scotland by Hatsune Miku, because this is part of something that I'll explain later. Anyways, another debuting country in Europe is Sweden, which Stanivision community, or most members of the Stanivision community is based in, and as among those is Leo, who represented Sweden with his own cover of Espresso Macchiato by Tommy Cash, and it was with the song Risi Frutti Hallon, which I'll mention soon if it won or not. 7th place was, song number 7 was Sak, who once again represented Azerbaijan with the song Victory Dream. Portugal, which is also unrealistic, but it was Kevin Holmström who represented Portugal as song number 8 with the song Vasterbroden Eltivox, which is based on Kevin Holmström as one of the members of Kai, along with Axel Åhman and Jakob Norgård, who represented Sweden in European Song Contest 2025 with the song Bara Bara Bastu, one of the fan favorites from Basel 2025 European Song Contest. Estonia, song number 9, sent another Vocaloid superstar, or Utah Lloyd, that's Kasaniteto with Rolling Girls, and even this one I'll mention later. And then Finland is song number 10, as we now had 10 delegations from the 5th edition. This time, another Kai member, that's not Axel Åhman, but Jakob Norgård, with the song Brasil, meaning that Axel Åhman has been left out. The result led that Japan, on the 10th, ended up in a dead last, not just dead last on the 10th place, like really dead last, with 0 points. Then came Finland, who ended up in the 9th place with 9 points. Or yeah, that's simply 9 points. Tuvalu ended up on the 8th place with 21 points, and 1 point behind Portugal, who ended up in the 7th place with 22 points. Romania ended up in the 6th place with 25 points, the same amount of points that Casaneteto, and Estonia ended up in with 5th place with 25 points. And Casaneteto ended up behind another Vocaloid superstar, again the Flower, where her Scotland ended up in 4th place with 29 points, which was also not bad result. Ashitax ended up in the 3rd place with 34 points, which is the same amount of points that, again, Sak and Azerbaijan ended up with 34 points, though in the 2nd place. And then Sweden, who won the contest for the first time with the Rissifrutti Hallon with 47 points, leading the contest and the 6th edition to take place in Östergötland. The 6th edition took place in the end of June, and even this one ended up with started with Romania as the starting debut song number 1, with Vincent 12496, with creating a diss track about M32. That is, in other words, the song title is M32 diss track. Ashitax started off as song number 2, with Turkmenistan saying "Go, go, go." Finland's Lilia Sofia made reference a Kai song, or the former song Kai, with one of the most popular one, of course, Yo No Yo Yo, which was a bit hilarious that it's the same song title as that of the original song, but either way, it sounds different from the original one, therefore it's still allowed to compete. Then came to a debuting country, should I say, because we had song number 4, that's Antarctica, which was represented by Deo with a cover, a Swedified or a Swedish version or Swedish cover of Voyage, which was represented by Soeme in host country Switzerland for European Song Contest 2025 in the city of Basel, though with the Swedish version. Then another debuting country is Simlist, which is actually based of a Swedish city named Simrishamn. That's where Maximus is from, as he told about his sandwich in Maximus Wants Macka, the song, of course. And while staying in Sweden, of course, it is song number 6, where we had a literal duet with Gubbe featuring Leo, talking about how proud they are to live in Skåne. That's what they call their place home, or as they would say, Skåneland. Song number 7 was how I would say a typical Tuvalu song from Tofiga with their hit song Fatawa Aute Banua. Song number 8 was Andalusia with Benny featuring Malaga Station Band with the song Andalusia Cultura, which was actually the first time that Andalusia ever competed, but not the last one, of course. And even this one I made a Stanivision YouTube video about, so please check if you haven't already. Azerbaijan started as song number 9 against Sotnesak with Starlight in My Eyes. And then another debuting country, especially in Oceania, as song number 10 was Cook Islands with Julfågel, or now known as Pinguini, with the song Om Nom, which is actually an English cover of the song Om by a Swedish singer named Niklas Strömstedt. And looking at the result, we can see that it was a bit tight first, but taking a look at from the 10th place, which was Romania, which ended up dead last with 10th place, and also 0 points, given that it's part of the rule that you have to vote before the competition takes place, and if you do not vote, you will get disqualified and you end up dead last with 0 points, which is the case that Romania and even Japan in the past edition, the 5th edition, had. Then came 9th place with Simnist Maximus, not the result he was hoping for. He ended up with 10 points. Andalusia ended up in 8th place with 15 points. Then 7th place with Finland ending up in the 17 points, which is even then, and once again, the same amount of points as the 6th place, and that was Sak and his Azerbaijan. 5th place was Tuvalu and Tofiga, who, with the pride of Tuvalu, ended up with 24 points at 5th place. Ashitax represented Turkmenistan again, and that was 36 points, which and even another country that also had 36 points was Cook Islands in the 3rd place, followed by which was a tight result. Both Antarctica and Sweden had the same amount of points, which was 40 points, yet it turned out that Antarctica won on more 6 points than Sweden, which led to Sweden being in 2nd place and Antarctica, the debuting country, in the 1st place, which is another evidence of a debuting country winning already, as we already seen in the 4th edition with Sananas, and especially a fake country. Stanivision 7th edition took place on 19th of July 2025. Even this one is Saturday 9 p.m. Ashitax represented Turkmenistan, song number 1, with visiting Karakum Desert, which he did in this song. Leo has been representing Sweden more and more, and of course this is where I use the song title more as song number 2. Then came song number 3, that was represented by Jay in a Dutch cover for Bala Bala Bastu, the earlier mentioned. The Dutch cover is Gewoon in the Sauna. Song number 4 is Romania, and it's Vincent, who now have to talk about Olivia Nordgren. It's Sigma 071 Olivia Nordgren. Antarctica, after the victory, held the contest in Amundsen, Scott, and they all competed once again for Antarctica in Borelio, which brought a theatric experience. Tuvalu performed with a cover of Tutta l'Italia by Gabri Ponte, with even an Italian DJ who was representing the neighbor San Marino in European Song Contest 2025 in there. Instead of Tutta l'Italia, we got all of Tuvalu, which was performed by DJ Glitterheck. Norway performed as song number 7. That's another debutant country besides the Netherlands, with Tix, another European contestant, along with Zach, who performed a duet with the song Going Out. Cook Islands performed the song I Want a Cow by Bob for song number 8, followed by Sananas and Mr. Sköldpadda with a song about or referencing Kanye West in the song Kanye from Kenya, because, you know, that's the idea of Mr. Sköldpadda. And then song number 10 is Andalusia, with samples from Baila Chiqui Chiqui by Rodolfo Chiquilicuatre, which represented Spain in European Song Contest 2008. So Rodolfo Chiquilicuatre is the rightful owner of the song. And then we also had Benny in that song, Englishman and German Youths, which the lyrics is a bit catchy, I would say. Looking at the results, which is another case of countries not voting, therefore being disqualified, which is once again the case in the 7th edition, when we had the Netherlands dead last in the 10th place with 0 points because it did not vote according to the rules. Romania ended up in the 9th place with 16 points, though from performing a song number 4. Tuvalu, represented by DJ Glitterheck, ended up in 8th place with 30 points, 2 points light from the 7th place, that's Norway, with 32 points. Andalusia ended up in 6th place with 33 points, even with its tribute to Andresitas. Antarctica, represented by Dio, which was the latest time that both Antarctica and Andalusia competed in, ended up in 5th place with 34 points, which is 1 point slim. 2 point slim was the 4th place with 36 points, which was Mr. Sköldpadda and his beloved country Suriname. 48 points was for Cook Islands, which ended up in the 3rd place. And then looking at countries in 70 points, which was for both the 2nd place, Turkmenistan, and the 1st place, Sweden. And that was with Gothic Ark that Leo helped Sweden win once again. 2nd of August was Stanivision 08, which was held once again in Sweden. And we had Sweden's neighbor Finland begin the show with Linjen Sofia and Hupari Päivä, with even the Finnish song title, the song itself, and generally is mostly in Swedish. Japan returned back to the contest again, and it was Starkiller who, along with Void Shadow, talked about positively about Stanivision. And we also had the beauty country, that's the United States of America, with references to 2 former presidents, Richard Nixon and Barack Obama, or 2 samples. It was a certain Shelley Wolfer who represented the United States of America with the song United States of Freedom. Sweden, Leo sent Monster to represent a country as host country and the song number 4. Croatia, another beauty country, sent Diana to represent with the song Lijepa Sinfonia. And then Zak, again representing Norway as song number 6, as in quite opposite to Japan's song Stanivision, now talking about a negative version of the song in Stand This, which is a diss track of Stanivision and kind of a negative view. The lyrics though is so hilarious, so you gotta hear it. Turkmenistan's Ashitax finally got the chance when he starting as song number 7, as in the first 6 editions around, he usually started as song number 1, song number 2, and song number 3. But now he started in this case as song number 7 with the song Marble White. And then a debuted country, another fake country, which is Spermistan, represented by Pinguini with the song All We Need Is Love. And from the results, it was found that 8th place was Finland with 23 points. 7th place was Japan with 1 point slim, that's 24 points. And then Norway with 31 points in the 6th place. The 5th place, Spermistan, got 34 points, the same amount of points that the 4th place the United States had. Turkmenistan ended up in the 3rd place, top 3 of course, with 42 points, followed by Sweden, who was so close to winning, or quite so close to win, with 51 points in the 2nd place, and the 1st place is Croatia with 58 points. And here is the 9th edition, and before I even say anything of it, remember when I mentioned the earlier songs, The Disappearance of Scotland by Hatsune Miku and Alex, as well as Rolling Girl by Kasane Teto and Distortion by the Flower. Turns out it was found that also from the 9th edition, and that's where I come shortly. Also, one of those who were confirmed earlier to compete in Sanchez 09 was also Scotland. This time sending Kasane Teto from earlier editions, that's Sanchez 05, when she earlier mentioned Estonia with the song Rolling Girls back then. It was confirmed that she would represent Scotland with the song Medicine, but a few days after the confirmation from Scotland, an investigation from a fellow station member was made that found that Medicine was an already existing song that was in English version and is also in Japanese version too. Is an already existing song in the Vocaloid community and of course Castanetto is the one singing it. Then came a similar investigation that also found that Rolling Girls, that Castanetto even there, representing Estonia with Instantia 05, was also found to be plagiarized as an wait as an already existing song. And then we had a few moments later, it was also found that distortion, or what was thought to be an original song, Distortion, yet is actually the same song as submitted with another song title. It is the original song title for that same song is actually Unknown Mother Goose, which of course is B Flower singing it. However, it was submitted to Stanivision with another song title as Distortion, and it came. And how I would describe this was I will describe this as the last straw, since of course this made us vote on choosing one of the four alternatives. The first alternative would be if we ban Hatsune Miku, Kasane Seto, V Flower, Akita Nero, or Kagami Nerin, or Len, or Chisei, or Luca, or any other Vocaloid, Fanloid, Utahloids, and Superstars, and Divas, of course, while giving Alex and Edith a second chance in performing with an original song, still representing Scotland. That was the first alternative. The second alternative would be if we ban Alex, not just Hatsune Miku and Kasane Teto, but also the two people, Alex and Edith, completely from debuting or competing due to other scandals, not just with plagiarism. Or if with the third alternative we say that we give them another chance and say, oh, it was I know it was a bit wrong. We know it was a bit wrong, but we still forgive them for what they are, or do nothing. Let's say we know that what they did was wrong, but we moved on anyway. The end of the story. And most votes went for the first alternative, which is banning Miku and Teto from competing and disqualifying anyone who tries to submit with Vocaloid songs will have their song disqualified, while still giving them a second chance to compete with an original song, or at least generated by AI, with this case of Suno. And here's a story that, for those new information, for those who don't know about it yet. Turns out after the decision that Hatsune Miku and Kazaneta would be banned, it was since not heard from Alex and Edith, and also from another fellow Stanchion member. 3 of them disappeared or left the server, as I would also say. And with this 9th edition of Stanivision, that was greatly affected by this, what was known as the biggest scandal that Stanivision has ever seen in its history. But even then, it was still unaffected. But it's not just all. Even with 8 contestants this time, only 2 or 5 attended. And the following 8 contestants, by the running order, song number 1, debuted country Götaland, which Vincent chose to represent with the song Vincent Bavide. So basically you can represent any region as well. Song number 2 was Benny once again representing the United States of America, this time with a tribute to Turkmenistan through the song title and lyrics in Americans in Ashgabat, the capital city of Turkmenistan, Americans in Ashgabat, and Turkmens in Texas, the state of Texas. Song number 3 was Finland, represented by Leading Sofia with Molopo, and then Sananans as song number 4 with Gubbe, representing the country with what I would say is a controversial song title. So I will not say it. For those who are wondering, please write in the comment section what the song title is, and I'll just write them. I'll just answer them and write what the song title is, because this one is not so easy to say it out loud, especially not on YouTube. Song number 5 was Leo, Even then, it's not easy, but it's Bleeding, which is also a God of Arc song. Song number 6 is a debuting country, not just Jutland, but Spain also debuting with contestant Y as a tribute to Stanivision through the song I Love Stanivision So Much. And fan favorite Turkmenistan's pop sensation Ashitax, representing with his propaganda. And from one propaganda to another, or not really propaganda, is song number 8, that's the past winner, Croatia, who hosted the 9th edition in Split, Croatia, with the song Vierle Snijen, performed by New Washer Fluid. Another case of a country not voting, therefore being disqualified and giving 0 points, was Spain, who ended up in 8th place with 0 points, also then being disqualified. 7th place was Finland with 32 points, 2 points from Senenhans in the 6th place with 34 points. 5th place was Turkmenistan with 38 points. Croatia, the host country, ended up in 4th place with 40 points, which is the same amount that Romania had in the 3rd place, which is 40 points, of course. And then one of the fan favorites, or two fan favorites, the USA and Sweden left. The United States of America ended up in the 2nd place with 50 points, and then Sweden winning again with 68 points in the 1st place. Meaning that Statue 10 has been set to be arranged in Östergötland in Sweden, which is of course what we're here heading off right now, which is the last edition that Stanivision ever held. And now we got to the point with more and more members from other countries, not just Sweden. We had from the 5th or 6th edition, we had some from Norway either in Norway or Indonesia, or I think Indonesia, and then Ireland as well. But now we have more and more. And here's an example of the debutant countries. So the first debutant country on the list of the running order was Italy, which was represented by a native crow with the song Il Tempio dell'Ombre. And then song number 2 was Leo with a song about his home city and host city, Östergötland. Ireland represented the country for the first. Ireland competed in Stanivision for the first time, sending Harris with the song Emerald Spirit, talking about his emerald spirit, his Irish spirit, and his Irish heart from Dublin and Cork to Östergötland. Estonia redeemed its reputation after the scandal revolving Kasana Teto and her song Rolling Girls, which earlier represented Estonia in Stanivision 05. Now redeeming the song with their Estonian song thingy, that was Melon, who redeemed the reputation, represented the country with his cheap Estonian beer. Gubbe finally brought with a least controversial song title for Sananas with the song Boston Gurkha, and even there the lyrics was a bit off. Yeah, if you need yeah, it was the lyrics were catchy, of course. That's what I can say. And from one fake country to another fake country, we had to Spermistan that was slipping through to the contest in Östergötland, sending Pinguini. And then after multiple past editions where he represented Japan, Starkler made a decision in representing France this time, but with not so French song, as he talked about a specific Italian dish, and that specific Italian dish is none other than pizza. Simulist, once again represented by Maximus, sent the song Välkommen till Simrishamn, basically welcome to Simrishamn, as a way to welcome the entire world, especially Östergötland and Sweden, to Simrishamn. From the beginning of the progress, between the 8th or 9th edition and the 10th edition, it was earlier confirmed that Poland would compete with Sivniavski. However, in the midway, it was confirmed that Latvia would replace Poland instead, represented by Isaac with not so unreachable song, which is the song title Unreachable. Another debutant country besides Latvia and Italy, for example, is Belgium, who sent Zakaria and Nisar from Liège and Brussels from Wallonia and Flanders and the German-speaking part of Belgium to Ostagavia with the hit song in French Le Mer, c'est le route. And then we have the fan favorite, or one of the fan favorites, is Turkmenistan, represented by Architects, to talk about his glory days and the story of how he represented Turkmenistan in the past 9 editions, now 10 editions, of course. And from Central Asia, I would say, to Atlantic and the Mediterranean Sea in Southern Europe, we had to Portugal, which was represented by Benny, and with some inspiration from Portuguese accordionist Kim Barreiros with the song Em Portugal Confiamos, which from Portuguese to English is In Portugal We Trust, followed by Spain, the neighbor, of course, represented by a wife for the second time, this time with a Mercadona jingle, the Mercadona, a Mercadona song with inspiration from Mercadona, of course. And finally, Götaland, represented again by Vincent, with Vincent är tillbaka, se hur han går. Vincent is back, see how he's doing, to be exact. And looking at, and this was a historic one, the most amount of contestants, which was a record, of course, with 14 contestants. As we've seen and noticed, of course, in the results, 14th place was, and this time no country has been disqualified, of course, not even in the last place, which was Ireland, who ended up at last, though with 35 points. Luckily that he's not disqualified by then. 13th place was France, who ended up with 49 points, which was also massive, considering that the voting system now became different. 12th place was the unreachable result for Latvia with 51 points, 5 points behind Spain, who ended up with 56 points in the 11th place. Then came Simrist, with now ending up in the top 10 with 63 points, which is actually the same amount of points that Götaland had in 9th place, also 63 points. Another one of the European countries, Italy, got 8th place with 72 points, and then we had Sunderland with 7th place with 75 points. And similar there, 5 points slim from the 6th place with 80 points, that is Portugal and Em Portugal Confiamos, followed by the top 5 that Portugal was left out, and instead with Belgium, who ended up with 93 points, which is still a massive top 5 place for Belgium. Estonia did actually redeem its reputation, as it ended up with not so bad result with 4th place with 97 points. And then Spermistan, who even there, as we noticed, it was a debuting moment for Spermistan, yet also impressive with 102 points. And then Turkmenistan, one of the fan favorites, by its pump sensation Architects, who ended up with 2nd place with 120 points, followed by Sweden, who won once again with 146 points, which is a record when it comes to the voting. And here we are with Stanivision 11 set to take place in the city of Västerås in Sweden on Saturday, November 15th, 2025 at 9 p.m. of course, like usual. And so far, the confirmed entries for Stanivision 11 right now is Latvia, Italy, Simrist, Sweden, Portugal, and Turkmenistan, but also Cook Islands, who will return back after few editions back. And it's also found that 3 countries will debut. First up is Vatican City, then Chile, and Lithuania. It was earlier confirmed that Chile and Lithuania would participate in Stanivision 10, but the changes were made, and now it's said that they will compete in Stanivision 11 instead. And that's where we are right now, and also announced that there were rumors that Morocco would join Stanivision 11, but it's yet to be announced soon, and it's still a month away, so it's a bit early. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this very long history of Stanivision, and if you liked what I said, anything about Stanivision, or if you have any questions, just write them in the comment section. You can also for those, and another thing that I want to mention is for those who are wondering what happened with the Disappearance of Scotland by Hatsune Miku. Turns out it's a mystery because there are no evidence that the song has been plagiarized as an already existing song among the vocaloid community, or that it was generated by AI, as generated by Suno. But if I get any request that I should publish a video about the Disappearance of Scotland, please write any requests that I should do so, and I'll publish them soon. And if I even publish that video about the Disappearance of Scotland, please write if you believe that it is plagiarized or AI generated, and if you actually think it is Hatsune Miku, or again, in an obvious alternative, that it is AI generated through Suno, for example. So I hope you like, subscribe, and share this for everyone to know about our community, our music competition that we love the most, that we fought so hard for the past couple of months. It's soon a year now, we still can't believe this. It's a crazy idea that, we never imagined that, let's say by the end of March this year, that we had that our idea to unite the world would be kind of realistic, at least on Discord server, of course. But if you want to join our musical spectacle as well, then please write them in the comment section as well, along with your username, and I'll give you an invitation link to the server, so you can be a part of our history. So I hope you like subscribe again, as mentioned, and until then, we'll see you on let's say Instagram and TikTok, or at least if I upload something on YouTube. Until then, see you there.